सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहैः। ओम शांति शांति शांति। ओम गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरु साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। ओम सच्चिदानन्दरूपाय विश्वोत्पत्त्यादिहेतवे तापत्रय विनाशाय श्रीकृष्णाय वयं नुमः। जन्माद्यस्य यतोऽन्वयादितरतश्च अर्थेष्वभिघ्नस्वराड् तेने ब्रह्महृदाय आदिकवये मुह्यन्ति यत्सूरयः तेजो वारिमृदां यथा विनिमयो यत्र त्रिसर्गो मृषा धाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकुहकं सत्यं परं धीमहि। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। ओं नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओं योऽन्तः प्रविश्य मम वाचमिमां प्रसुप्तां सञ्जीवयत्यखिलशक्तिधरस्वधाम्ना अन्यांश्च हस्तचरणश्रवण त्वगादीन् प्राणान् नमो भगवते पुरुषाय तुभ्यं। नमो भगवते पुरुषाय तुभ्यं। समस्त देवताभ्यो ऋषिभ्यो मुनिभ्यो गुरुभ्यो नमः। श्रीमद्भागवत महापुराण आचार्येभ्यो नमः। प्रब्रह्मणे महाविष्णवे ब्रह्मणे सनकादिमुनिभ्यो नारदाय वेदव्यासाय शुकब्रह्मर्षये सूतमहामुने शौनकादृषिभ्यो अत्र्यादृषिभ्यो प्रह्लादादिभक्तजनेभ्यो नमो नमः। आदित्यादिनवग्रहदेवताभ्यो नमो नमः। दशदिक्पालकेभ्यो नमः। दक्षिणामूर्ति दत्तात्रेय हयग्रीवादिगुरुभ्यो नमः। अस्मद्गुरुभ्यो नमः। ओं श्रीकृष्णपरब्रह्मणे नमः। श्रीमद्भागवत महापुराणम् एकादशस्कन्धः मुक्तिः हित्वान्यथा रूपं स्वरूपेण व्यवस्थितिः। अथ द्वाविंशोऽध्यायः। उद्धव उवाच श्रीभगवानुवाच। Relating to the Lord, to the entire Bhagavatacharya Parampara, let us chant in this 22nd chapter of Ekadasha Skandha, the portion in which to the question of Uddhava, Bhagavan is answering about how many are the tattvas which are making this world and why these many variety of opinions are there. Having answered them, again to the question very important of Uddhava regarding the interconnection between Prakriti and Purusha, when that question is asked, while answering it, how the entire world from Paramatma's Maya gets manifested or created, which is one of the very most important understandings arrived at by rishis and munis. To explain about this creation, Bhagavan Krishna tells through Uddhavji to us. And these look to be very difficult, sublime, only because we don't repeatedly listen or contemplate. But when we repeatedly listen and contemplate, all these aspects are understood. In fact, they all can be proved also on our seat of meditation through our inquiry. And then through the Atyanta Sukshma Yoga Sthiti, where we have dissolved the individual in the total. From that drishti, when you visualize, all these are very clearly, unambiguously, conspicuously seen. It will be very clearly seen, like the micro level, scope level, through microscope or such sublime, sophisticated instruments, you can see the microbes or micro elements. Naked eye, they can't be seen. In the same way, with the yoga drishti, all that creation which is explained by Krishna Bhagavan will be seen by us. So that is one proof. Other is Bhagavan himself is explaining to us why will he lie to us. Why should we listen all that is? Then it will help us in understanding Srishti in its comprehensive expanded form. Then we can think how much importance to give it to it, how much reality to give it, and where we have some control, where we don't have the control, where we have to submit, where we have to dominate, where you have to withdraw from, how to do. All these things become more easier to understand and practice if how the creation has happened, we listen and understand from such topics. Okay, let us chant first of all again from the mantra number 10 only. Om Anadya Vidya Yuktasya Purushasya Vedanam Swato na Sambhavet Anyaha Tattvajno Jnanado Bhavet Purusheshwarayoratra Navailakshanyamandvape Tadanya Partha Jnanam cha Prakrutir Gunasamyam Vai Prakrutirnatmano Gunaha Sattvam Rajastama Iti Sthityutpatyanta Hetavaha Sattvam Jnanam Rajah Karma Tamo Ajnanamihochate Gunavyatikarah Kalaha Swabhavah Sutrameva cha Purushah Prakrutirvyaktam Ahankaro navo anilah jyotirabah kshitiriti tattvaanyuktani me nava shrotram tvagdarshanam ghranah jihveti jnanashaktayah vakpanyupasthapayvangrihi karmanyango bhayam manah shabdasparshorasorgandhah रूपम चेत्यर्थजातयः गत्युक्त्युत्सर्गशिल्पानि कर्मायतनसिद्धयः सर्गादौ प्रकृतिर्हि अस्य कार्यकारणरूपिणे सत्त्वादिभिर्गुणैर्धत्ते पुरुषो अव्यक्त ईक्षते व्यक्तादयो विकुर्वाणाः धातवः पुरुषे क्षया लब्धवीर्याः सृजन्त्यण्डं संहताः प्रकृतेर्बलात् सप्तैव धातव इति तत्रार्धाः पञ्चखादयः ज्ञानमात्मोभयाधारः ततो देहेन्द्रियासवः षडित्यत्रापि भूतानि पञ्चषष्ठः परः पुमान् तैर्युक्त आत्मसम्भूतैः सृष्ट्वेदं समुपाविशतु चत्वार्येवेति तत्रापि तेज आपोन्नमात्मनः जातानि तैरिदं जातं जन्मावयविनः खलु संख्याने सप्तदशके भूतमात्रेन्द्रियाणि च पञ्चपञ्चैकमनसा आत्मा सप्तदशः स्मृतः तद्वत् षोडशसंख्याने आत्मैव मन उच्यते भूतेन्द्रियाणि पञ्चैव मन आत्मा त्रयोदशः एकादशत्व आत्मासौ महाभूतेन्द्रियाणि च अष्टौ प्रकृतयश्चैव पुरुषश्च नवेत्यथ इति नानाप्रसङ्ख्यानं तत्त्वानां ऋषिभिः कृतं सर्वं न्याय्यं युक्तिमत्वात् विदुषां किम् अशोभनम् उद्धव उवाच प्रकृतिः पुरुषश्चोभौ यद्यप्यात्मविलक्षणौ अन्योन्यापाश्रयात् कृष्ण दृश्यते न भिदातयोः प्रकृतौ लक्ष्यते हि आत्मा प्रकृतिश्च तथात्मनि एवं मे पुण्डरीकाक्ष महान्तं संशयं हृदि चेत्तुमर्हसि सर्वज्ञ वचोभिर्नयनैपुणैः तत्तो ज्ञानं हि जीवानां प्रमोषस्तेऽत्र शक्तितः त्वमेव हि आत्ममायायाः गतिं वेत्थ न चापरः श्रीभगवान् उवाच प्रकृतिः पुरुषश्चेति विकल्पः पुरुषर्षभ एष वैकारिकः सर्गः गुणव्यतिकरात्मकः ममाङ्गमाया गुणमय्यनेकधा विकल्पबुद्धिश्च गुणैर्विधत्ते वैकारिकस्त्रिविधोऽध्यात्ममेकम् अथाधिदैवमधिभूतमन्यतो दृग्रूपमार्कं वपुरत्र रन्ध्रे परस्परं सिद्ध्यति यः स्वतः खे आत्मा यदेषामपरो य आद्यः स्वयानुभूत्याखिल सिद्धसिद्धिः एवं त्वगादिश्रवणादिचक्षुः जिह्वादिनासादि च चित्तयुक्तं योऽसौ गुणक्षोभकृतो विकारः प्रधानमूलात् महतः प्रसूतः अहं त्रिवृत्मोहविकल्पहेतुः वैकारिकस्तामस ऐन्द्रियश्च आत्मा परिज्ञानमयो विवादः ह्यस्तीति नास्तीति भिदार्थनिष्ठः व्यर्थोऽपि नैवोपरमेत पुंसां मत्तः परावृत्तधियां सलोकात् ॐ शान्तिः 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 ॐ Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Bhagavat Sharanam Mama, Shri Sadguru Sharanam Mama, Shri Suta Sharanam Mama, Shri Shukadeva Sharanam Mama, Shri Vyasa Sharanam Mama, Shri Narada Sharanam Mama, Shri Kumara Sharanam Mama, Shri Brahma Sharanam Mama, Shri Vishnu Sharanam Mama, Shri Parabrahma Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Sharanam Mama, Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Govinda Hare Murare, He Nath Narayana Vasudeva, Shri Krishna Govinda Hare Murare, He Nath Narayana Vasudeva, Shri Krishna Govinda Hare Murare, Shri Krishna Govinda Hare Murare, He Nath Narayana Vasudeva, Shri Krishna Govinda Hare Murare, He Nath Narayana Vasudeva, He Nath Narayana Vasudeva, He Nath Narayana Vasudeva. Om Mukhaṁ karoti vācālam pangum langhayate girim यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवं स्वर्गे सत्ये च कैलासे वैकुण्ठे नास्ते रसः अतः पिबन्तु सद्भाग्याः मामुञ्चितकरिचित ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ॐ श्रीकृष्णपरब्रह्मणे नमः श्रीमद्भागवत महापुराणमेकादशस्कन्धः मुक्तिरहित्वा रूपं स्वरूपेण व्यवस्थितिः अथ द्वाविंशोऽध्यायः श्रीः Bhagavan Hari Om. Salute the Lord, salute the Gurus continuously till our devotion surrender to them becomes so genius. And we will see when it is acknowledged by them, our devotion, their blessings come in terms of in the form of both vairagya to this lower life of the worldliness and the interest for the spiritual life. That's the den or kripa of the gods and gurus when we have worshipped them, when we have made them happy with our bhakti shraddha. May it happen in us. And may we continue in the path spiritual in such a way that we are habituated to it, we are enjoying the doings as well as results. In such a beautiful manner that no the earlier life of samsara, worldliness, should either attract us or should tempt or distract us. May we all that way free ourselves from this and experience what Bhagavan said as Mam prapadyante mayam taranti. See, Mam prapadyante means being always in touch with Lord. Mayam taranti is rising beyond the entire samsara. We can make it practically experienced in our life, which we are doing every day during the hours of this class. But this temporary outside. But inside also, in our entire antakarana, deliberately, when we fill it with Bhagwan, Mame Vaye Prapadyante, we can see that innocent mind, intellect will reveal to us the Lord only. They won't bother much to be binding us in the Maya. No Maya will be there. This topic we discussed so much in the last 1.5 years, especially when the corona was so predominantly prevalent. We made use of that happening corona to explain this topic hundreds of times. Okay? If you go out, you will get the corona. If you go out without mask, etc., definitely you get it. Don't go at all. If at all you need to go with mask. When you come back, properly wash your hands, legs, everything with whatever the sanitizers. In the same way, let not the Indriyas mana go into the corona of the worldliness. Even if it goes, go with the with the mask of seeing Lord everywhere or wanting to see the Lord everywhere or going to see only Lord. Then the Maya of the corona will not enter us. Even if here and there you had to talk to somebody, some topics, the moment you come home, first sanitize yourself. That sanitization is immediately within a moment's time. Take the Lord's name or go to a puja room, do some sort of upasana of Lord or any stotra patram, that the earlier dust of any seeming corona is there is gone. Everyday sanitization is having come home, remember the Lord, and in the flow of the Lord's remembrance, the worldliness which was inevitable for us to involve is not creating stronger dent in us. It's a very intelligent manner, intelligent technique if somebody catches it. This is how we have to undo the worldliness, like we do undoing of spirituality. After listening to the class, after the class is over, we go to the world and we wash all this knowledge, give it to the Guru. Tera tujko arpada, kya lage mera. How? By entering into worldliness. A highly evolved seeker or the one who want to evolve, he will wash off the worldliness, as that is the infection with the medication or sanitizer of remembering the Lord. This is how we have to help ourselves. Now, in our 22nd chapter, Bhagavan was telling us so many things. One important thing we saw yesterday was Anadi Avidya Yuktasya Jivasya Purushasya. You and me, who are with the Vidya from Anadi, for us, Atma Vedanam, knowing of our own self, Swataha na Sambhavet, it is not known by ourselves because we are in the Jiva Bhava fully caught up. What is the way out to Anyaha Tattvagnaha Jnanadaha Bhavet? There is a necessity of someone who has the Tattvajnanam and who is ready to give us Jnana. They are called as Bhagavan and Guru. They are not two. Ishvara, Guru are one. Guru or Govinda is one. Then we started seeing how, because of Karya Karanatva, Karana made into Moni Karyas merged in the Karana, the number of Tattvas are different according to different visionaries, the Rishis. What is Bhagavan's idea is what? All of them are correct because Yukti Sambhavat Grunnimaha. That he said in the 9th mantra. Now, yesterday we saw up to the number of Bhagavan said 9 are the Tattva. So, quickly we go through them. Ki Purushaha Prakritihi Vyaktam Ahankara. And these are the 4. Purusha is Paramatma or Jiva. Then Prakriti is Maya. Then Vyaktam is Mahatattvam. Ahankaram is Aham. 4. Then Nabo Nila Anilaha Jyoti Apaha Kshiti. These are the Panchamahabhuta. They is a set. Those who talk Tattvas as 9, they take these are 9. That is also correct. Then the others, Shrotram, Tak, Darshanam, Granaha, Jihva, iti Jnana Shaktaya. So the Pancha Jnanendriyas are the Shaktis with which the Pancha Vastus are known. So some add that also. Then Vakpani Upastapayu Angrihi Karma Shaktaya. See, these Pancha Karmendriyas, these are. Ubhayam Manaha, the Mana functions through both of them. So these 11, those 9, that is the people's version who say 20. Now we saw ki Shabda Sparsho Raso Gandho Rupam Chaiti Artha Jataya. The Pancha Vishayas are the ones known by the Pancha Jnanendriya. Then Gati Ukti Utsarga Shilpani, these are all the actions done by the Karmendriya. Sometimes they are also included in the Tattvas. Thus the number increases from 20 to 30. Now the 17th, 18th, 19th mantras are little important to understand, especially 17, 18, these two. Little careful. He says, Sargadau prakrutirihi asya karya karanarobine sattvaadibhirgunairdatte purushaha avyaktaha ikshate. So, Sargadau, how the Adi of the Sarga happened, how the creation happened is, he Asya Purushasya we can say, or Asya Jagataha, Prakriti. What is Prakriti? Karya Karana Rupini. In the Avyakta Rupa, it is a Karana, and from there onwards, the Mahata, the next expression of Tanmatras, all of that is called as Karya. The Prakriti, which is Karya Karana Rupa, which again has got the Trigunas, Sattvadevi, that is the one which is the one making this world happen. At that time, what is Purusha is doing? Purusha Avyaktaha. Purusha without involving in that, only tamasa dekhte hai, ikshate. This is one of the very crucial point. Where when we don't understand, we always will be in confusion. When we understand, it becomes clear to us. This we shared yesterday also, day before also, day before also. See, first of all, for Paramatma, no need of creation. For the Prakriti Maya also, no need of creation. Point 2. Creation is required for us, the Jivas, for our own sadhana and siddhi, for our own vyavahara. When the creation is required for us, that time Prakriti, Paramatma come into picture. Then Paramatma directly will not create, but in his presence, Prakriti creates. Prakriti creates, but it cannot do without the presence of Paramatma. So, who is the creator in this way? If you see, in three angles, you can say three are the creators. I am the creator Jiva because for my sake it is created. Prakriti is the creator because without the Prakriti, how can the Jagat appearing? Paramatma is also creator because without his presence, it won't happen. I am the creator, I say, to take the responsibility. Prakriti is the creator, we say, because without that it won't happen. Paramatma is the creator, we say, to surrender to him. So, what is said is one aspect, why is said is another aspect. The why is said is more important. Okay. Here, what is said here is in the Adhyakshata or presence of Paramatma, Prakriti, which is Karyakarana which is having these three gunas, with these three gunas, which are Karyakarana the creation is made. In this, the Tama guna can be made as Karana, then Rajas Sattva are the Karya. In that also, through Tamoguna Karana Vidya, the Rajoguna functions and the creation happens. Again, the happened creation through Sattva-guna, the maintenance is made. Then at the time of delusion, Tamoguna works and takes everything back into Samya Sthiti of the three gunas, after which there is no creation. Then how this is example. See, every day we see the two common famous examples so many times we give is the example of the petrol as well as the electricity. In all the vehicles that are moving, without petrol, the vehicles don't move. Petrol vehicles. Is the petrol moving by itself? No. Is the petrol directly moving the vehicle? No. If the petrol is moving the vehicle, then you and I drink petrol, we also should move. The petrol bunk should move because there is petrol in it. What is happening? A peculiar phenomena. In the presence of the petrol, some horsepower is generated that is moving the vehicle. Is it not? Without that petrol, the vehicle will not move. And without vehicle, what will the petrols work? Petrol is only presence. Yaad rakhna. So, in the presence of electricity, filament is glowing. Electricity is not glowing, nor in the electricity there is a glow. If in the electricity there is a glow, it should continuously glow. And anybody holds it, they should also glow. In the wire glow hota hi rehna chahiye. No. In the electricity is there heat? No. If the heat is there, then always it will be hot. I should hold on to it. Then how come in the electricity both heat is there as well as a cooling effect is there, which are both are opposite? एक में तो एक हो तो समझ सकते, दोनों कैसे हो सकते? What we have to understand from this? In the presence of electricity, these electrical equipments are behaving differently. Therefore, how much is the karana of this electricity? How much is the karana of those upadis? If you see, electricity's karana is by being present there. In his presence, the upadis are expressing their gunas. If it is a bulb, it is glowing. If it is a fan, it is moving. In the same way, like in Surya Bhagwan's presence, Chor is doing chori, Neta is doing netagiri, Dada is doing dadagiri, Gunda is doing gundagiri, police is doing policegiri. Is it not? Without sun, we can't do anything because the whole Prithvi will be lost. But we can't attribute anything to sun as he is the doer. He's only there. Interesting. In the same way in us, the Prana Shakti is there. It won't do anything. In the presence of Prana Shakti, our Indriyas Ityadi are taking that Prana Shakti, they are working. The prana shakti is not working. Again, listen to these examples and contemplate. Then it is understood. Ki Purusha ikshate. He is present, in his presence happening. In him way, at large also, in the presence of pure conscious Paramatma, his own Maya Shakti is playing all the play. This is what in Tulsi, in Adhyatma Ramayana, in the Sri Rama Hrudaya Ghatam, first sarga of Balakanda it is. On the prompting of Rama, when Sita Mata gives the knowledge to Hanumanji of Rama Hrudaya, this topic so exhaustively is dealt. So sweetly and beautifully. She says, I am the one who do everything. She even tells that all the episodes whichever have happened by me because of me, but they are attributed to Rama. But in his presence, I only did. While saying so, at that time, Sita ji assumed the form of Prakriti, the nature. Bhagavan Rama is Purusha Parabrahma. And who is Jiva? The one who takes the Chaitanya and Satta from Paramatma, the one who takes the gunas of Prakriti, in the mixture of these two, he becomes Jiva. Jiva is actually non-entity. He is a amalgam of this Chit and Jada. Atmana Satyam Tasya Buddhir Vritridvayam Samyoja Chavekena Janamiti Pravartate Atmano Kriyanasti Buddhir Bodhana Jatviti Jiva Sarmanam Gnatva Gnata Drashtiti Muhyati. I am Jiva, I am the seer, I am the knower of the world. All this is moha, is not reality. We all take it only as real. There is no Jagat other than Paramatma or Maya. In the presence of Paramatma's present, the Maya is just making the world appear. And to that appearing world, we give value and we forget Lord. We take Shakti from the Lord only, our Sat Chit power, and then we feel we are a entity independent. Little more to be contemplated this one. So, again I read Sarga Adav in the beginning of creation. Prakriti, the Prakriti only, that is Maya. What is its Karya Karana Rupini, which has inherently the Karanatva as well as Karyatva. Sattva Advi Gunaihi. With the Sattva Rajastama Gunasu, Dhatte means creates this world. Purushaha Avyaktaha Ishvaraha. Ikshate. Purusha is only watching it there. He is not an active participant in the creation in any way. Maya Dakshena Prakriti Suyate Sacharacharam. Hetuna Anena Kavanteya Jagat Viparyartate. 9th chapter of Gita. Think it more and more, more and more, more and more. And that Purusha ultimately is me. Then recognize Nishnod, I am that Purusha in my presence. My own Maya Shakti manipulates or manifests the world. This Maya or Maya created world doesn't touch me, the Purusha, which is always so. I have never touched by this. I have always liberated entity. At that moment, the Jiva merged in Paramatma. That is called Mukti, Jivan Mukti. This will be explained in next 3 days of Mandukya Upanishad very deeply. We hope, we pray to Karikakara, Bhashakara and all Atharveda Rishi Parampara to give us ability to understand that very sublime portion. Very, very deep it is. That's why I'm going very slow in our morning class. One sloka one day, one sloka today, so that let us at least attempt to understand the standpoint of Karikakara. At least attempt to understand. Fully understanding, practicing, living, getting liberated from the Dvaita Jagat, establishing the Advaita Atma, they all will subsequently happen. First of all, effort to grasp it. Okay, now the next one. Ki Vyaktadayo Vikurvanaha Dhatavaha Purushekshaya Labdhaviryaha Sujatyandam Samhataha Prakrutir Balatu. This is what the assorted things put together in one shloka, in which how the entire creation came into manifestation. Bhagavan in one shloka. It was said earlier also many times. All that is summarized here. See, Vyaktadayaha Dhatavaha. Vyaktadaya dhata means the Vyaktadi means the Mahat Tattva. Vyakta Mahat Tattva, Then these uh, three Vrut Ahankara. These are the ones, what they do? Purusha Ikshaya. In the because of just Iksha of the Bhagavan, Labdha Viryaha, having got the Virya or strength ability, Prakrutehe Balatu, as per the samskaras in the Prakriti, Samhataha, by mutually coming together, Andam Sujanti, the entire Brahmanda, they are creating. So, according to the vasanas that are there, samskaras that are there, imprints that are there, needs that are there in the Prakriti, according to that, taking the entire strength from Paramatma, these Mahatattva as well as the Ahankara, they are the ones by mutually combining, manifesting this entire Brahmanda of 14 lokas, in which Svedaja, Andaja, Jaraija, Udbhicha Rupa, 4 bodies are there, into which the entire jivas have entered, and for the catering of this jiva and for those 4 bodies, whatever is required for sustaining, whether it is a grass bhojanam, whether it is subtle perceptions, whether it is the little subtle more thoughts, emotions, all of them have manifested from that vyaktadayaha dhatavaha. From that only all of that manifest. That's called Brahmanda. What is Brahmanda? Brahmanda is a sthula 14 world together. In that, the jivas have the deha, they enter into the deha. Then for them to sustain, they need stula annam, they need the indriya vishayas, they also need the mana and its emotions. Sara milkar brahmand kehte hain. All that is created by the mahatattva and the ahankara, prompted by the prakriti, getting the strength from paramatma, and by their own mutual paraspara combination, it is maintained. It is made. So I will read it again for you. Vyaktadayaha dhatavaha prakrutehe balatu purusha ikshaya labdhaviryaha samhataha andam sujanti. Vikurvanaha means when they, for the sake of creation, when they mutually combine or get little modified within, and that modification in them happens because another aspect of Bhagavan, Shakti of Bhagavan, it is called Kala Shakti. That will come again in the future shlokas. This is what we studied in earlier skandhas of 5 or even 3rd or 4th. One is Paramatma, second is Maya Shakti, third one is Kala. So, from the Maya Shakti, only Kala, Desha both come. So, with the grace of Paramatma, in the Kala and Desha, as per the Prakriti, the entire creation happens. That's how we see in time, in place, everything is created by Prakriti in the presence of God. Again, in time, all the Prakriti dissolves. In time, the space also dissolves. In Paramatma, time also dissolves. Is it not? Like early morning when we get up. Before we get up, in the sleep, there is no world. The moment we get up, we first to see what is the time. Then immediately we say, where am I? After these two, I become aware of myself, conditioned by Desha Kala. That prompts immediately me to invoke my Prakriti. Then who am I? See, what is the time, what is the place, who am I? Then immediately, what I am supposed to do. And then immediately what is to be done throughout the day, what is done, till again we merge our Prakriti in ourselves, the Kala and Desha in ourselves, and go back to sleep. Throughout the day, what's happening? The creation. Now, whether one is sleeping or one has woken up and done all that, the inner Atma Vastu is present to empower them, but not actively participating. He was there in Nidra, he was in Swapna, he was also in Jagrata, where the Prakriti, Desha, Kala have created me and the world for me in my interaction with the world. Contemplate on this thing again and again. then the clarity, subtlety will come. Same is happening in the entire Brahmand. In the presence of Paramatma, empowered by Paramatma, this Mahat Tattva Adi, having modified, having mutually combined with the Bala Prakriti, means as per ordained by the Prakriti Samskaras, बीज प्रकृति में बीज होते हैं ना सृष्टि के, उसके अनुसार अंडम सुजति. सुजति includes अंडम maintain करोति, as long as it is required. At the later time, all of them will dissolve. And the way the creation came, same way the dissolution also happens. We'll see it in the 12th skandha when 4 types of laya are told us. 4 types of pralaya. Nitya pralaya, naimittika pralaya, prakrita pralaya, atyantika pralaya. They will be taught to us in the 12th skandha. That time we will see. So, by the way, Bhagavan, though Uddhava's prashna was something about how many tattvas, Bhagavan just thought, let me take a chance and tell Uddhavji as to how in the presence of Lord, the Maya Shakti created world. Now, one of the very important thing which will be touched after 10-15 shlokas is the one who is attending to the Lord, meditating on the Lord, nearing to the Lord, merging in the Lord. For him, neither Prakriti, nor Desha, nor Kala, nor Brahmanda, nor Jiva Bhava, nor Manaha, Sankalpas, nor the Karma Phala, then Loka Prapti, none of them are there. In other words, if one is not aiming at the Lord, then he'll be caught up in the gamut of all these. And it is such a huge, infinite, inexplicable, ununderstandable, chaotic drama. Ki what time, what thought, what time, what action, which sloka we are sent, what phala comes to there. All will be every time chaotic only. Chaotic for us. From the Paramatma standpoint, there's no chaos. There's only cosmos. There's no chaos at all. He is continuously managing everything, providing opportunities for every jiva to evolve to its own essential nature, which is Bhagwan. याद रखना, परमात्मा के तरफ से कंफ्यूजन नहीं है. स्पष्ट रूप से ही इज मेकिंग, like the puzzle giver. From his side, there is no confusion. For us, it's a confusion because we have not sorted it out. So too, we have not sorted in our goal and means, therefore the whole world is endlessly confusing. All that will theoretically end and also practically will end when we understand Bhagavan as goal and when we reach the goal called Bhagavan. This is in simple words. Those who don't want to deeply understand, but just accept what is said. Simple word, it is said as Moha Maya. In simple, which we talked in the morning also. भगवान के माया से जगत बना, अपने मोह से हम उस जगत में फंसे. हम अपने मोह से जब बाहर आते हैं, फिर भगवान को सरेंडर करते हैं, भगवान माया निकाल देते. So direct, so simple. He created world out of his Maya Shakti. I got caught up in the world out of my moha. What I have to do? 3 things. 2 things. I get rid of my own moha, then I surrender to God. These go together. When you remove the moha, you can surrender to Lord. When you surrender to the Lord, the moha goes away. Moha means what? Seeing what is not there, seeing not what is there. What is that? The world is real, the world is good, world is beautiful, world gives me sukha. I cannot be without the world. I must desire the world. I must put effort to get the world. All of this is Beokufi in a Shuddha Urdu language, which in Sanskrit called moha. From that moha, aham comes. That's why all those people, moham madam, aham madam, their names are only like that. Is it very clear? Moha Maya. Simple. And as the knowledge becomes stronger, deeper, pakka, that knowledge itself dissolves. What? The first, the reality given to it, importance given to it, then the desires entertained for it, finally, the perception and presence of it also dissolves. And that place where such a binding world was seen earlier, now we will see the liberating God everywhere. देखो, सेम प्रहलाद विष्णु हिरण्यकश्यप दोनों के सामने वही जगत है। एक को सब जगह भगवान है, एक जगह दूसरे को भगवान है ही नहीं, अगर मिले तो मैं मार ही दूंगा उनको। दृष्टि दोषम। That's why these three lines which I always like. Drushtim jnanamayam krutva pashyed brahmamayam jagat. Drushtim bhaktimayam krutva pashyed bhagavanmayam jagatu. Yata drushti तथा सृष्टि ही। बुरी नजर वाले अपने नजर ठीक करा ले, तेरा मुंह काला नहीं। नजर ठीक करा ले, नजर बदलेगा सारा दुनिया बदल गया। एक नजर, नजर को इन द संस्कृत दैट दृष्टि इज कॉल्ड एज दर्शनम, philosophy of life. If the philosophy of life is ignorance, which is contradiction in terms, then we see the world as reality and we get caught up. If the philosophy of the world is true knowledge as we gain it from the Shastra. Remember, whatever knowledge Shastra and Guru is giving, it has to be convinced by us by our own intellection. And it has to be experienced by us by our own sadhana. Then only it is helpful. No philosopher, no Guru, no Shastra assures that we give knowledge and you get liberation. By their giving knowledge, I don't get liberation. Then by receiving that knowledge, practicing that knowledge, experiencing that knowledge, then I get liberation. Is it not? जैसे एक आंख ठीक नहीं दिख रहा, तो ophthalmologist gives us the spectacles, specs, goggles. By his giving the specs, our drushti is not made proper. Then those specs we have to take, wipe them properly with a cloth, put it on the eyes, and you have to open the eye. अदरवाइज उनका दिया हुआ ये चश्मा हमको चश्मे पर दूरी बनाएगा, हमको देख नहीं सकते हम। Just because he gave chashma, you put it in the pocket, your vision will not change. Where you have to put there. And then it cannot be dusty, you have to clean it. Then open the eyes and see through glasses. Then you will see. What happens is generally, I'm just telling out of topic, कि भगवान गुरु कोई हमको मुक्ति नहीं दे रहे, we worry. They are giving ज्ञानम बेटा, उसको यूज करो तो मुक्ति मिलेगा। देखो खाना अम्मा ने दिया, मदर, if you don't eat, can we get the mukti from hunger? Doctor gave medicine. If you don't take it, can we get mukti from the disease? So Guru and Shastra gave knowledge. If you don't use it, how can the mukti from the samsara come? थोड़ा हमको कभी कभी रेस्पॉन्सिबल होना है, कभी सयाने बनना है, कभी कभी नो वी शुड नो दैट एवरीथिंग इज गोइंग वंडरफुल इन दिस वर्ल्ड एक्सेप्ट वी से आई एम गोइंग वेल, एवरीबडी इज रॉन्ग। The thing is, everything is right. We are wrong. Many times it so happens. We go in wrong direction and we see all the traffic coming in the opposite direction. हम उनको ब्लेम करते हैं, तुम गलत रास्ते क्यों आ रहे हो? सब कहते हैं बेवकूफ तुम गलत रास्ते हो। In the same way, we are in wrong route. We have to go in right route. They're all correct. Sometime we have to change our drishti. Okay. Now in this way, व्यक्तादयः व्यक्तादयः धातवः प्रकृतेः बलात् पुरुष उपेक्षया लब्धवीर्याः विकुर्वाणाः समताः अन्नं सुजन्ति. So it is a 1 year नहीं तो कम से कम 3-4 महीने का लगातार process. Just do little half an hour japa, make the mind concentrated, feel in a relaxed mood, maintain the sattva guna. With that, just see the world. Then you will see what is said here, pakka. The 8 dhatus which are making this, the whole creation, or the prakriti, or the mahat tattva, and all these gunas, ahankara, ये सारे आपको आंखों देखा दिखेगा. No Vedanta or philosophy or Shastras are manipulating something and mesmerizing us. It's not jadoo, it's a reality. It appears to be jadoo because we never thought about it. When you think about it, what they are saying is a naked truth. They're not manipulating, they're talking truth. Whether it's the absolute truth, whether it is the truth regarding the untruthness of the relative world. It's pakka, clearly, there's no ambiguity. Where the problem, as we are saying nowadays every day, in our own mind intellect, which has got the cobwebs of tamas and sattva, rajasa, we are not able to pierce through those clear understandings. given to us by the Shastra, which are the truths. Whether the Shastra talks Ekamevadvayam Brahma, whether the Shastra says in the ignorance Atma or Paramatma, the Maya Nirmita, and from the Maya entire world came, whatever they say, whether they say you have to start Viveka, then Vairagya, then you must control your Prakriti by doing Shamadamadi, then you must go to Guru and do surrender. इसमें से एक भी बात मजाक के लिए नहीं कह रहे, धोखा देने के लिए नहीं कह रहे, झूठ बोलने के नहीं कर रहे, ये सब सत्य है, हम लोगों का मदद करने के लिए बता रहे. इट्स सो क्लियर इट इज. It's not like advertisement in the world where they do it not for our sake, though it looks to be our sake, but for their own sales and profits. Most of it, is it not? There will be only 10-20% that people should get benefit out of my products. Baki 80% so sale should grow and I must get profit. That's how the world of Vyapara works. Even in every shopkeeper shop, it's like that. If a true genuine shopkeeper is there, he will say, Mataji, आपके लिए जरूरत नहीं है, रखा हूँ मैं ऐसे ही बस. He will shop, but other fellow will say, जो पैसे नहीं जरूरत है तो भी थोप देगा हमको उसके ऊपर सब उसकी महिमाएं बताकर. His idea is to send it out of his shop, that object get the money which he invested. ऐसे लोग ज्यादा होते हैं. There are only few people who say, I've seen one or two shopkeepers. Oh, ये आपके लिए जरूरत नहीं. He said, मैं नहीं चाहा, भगवान नहीं चाहिए. He says, you don't need. And it found to be true only. He's very genuine. He is not a profit oriented at the cost of the customers. Why I'm saying all that is our Shastras, in that explanation of the truth, in that the explanation regarding why we get bound and how to get liberated, all of them are provable, proven, pakka facts time and again. To such an extent, whoever have tried genuinely, they all have succeeded in understanding what is said by Shastra is true. Why I am saying all that? When we remove our cobwebs of Rajas and Tamas with the Shuddha Sattva Guna, we can perceive all that happening. That is called Yoga Shakti. With the Yoga Shakti. In Vedanta, Surat nahi hai. We all reject it by Neti Neti. We establish in Paramatma. We are not worried about it. We are just aiming at the Paramatma Anubhava, and that is through meditation. I discovered myself. When you discover self, world is not there anyway. Now, come back to the topic of number of dhatus. Again, saptaiva dhatavah iti. Wherever they said dhatus are 7, tatra arthaha pancha khadayah. There, the pancha khadaya means pancha mahabhutas. Then jnanam means the jiva. Then atma ubhaya adharaha. The Paramatma who is the adhara for the jiva and pancha mahabhuta. This is how. Pancha mahabhutas, jiva and Paramatma. These are the dhatus. 7. Those who say that 7 are the dhatus with which the world is made. Then where from the indriyas have come? Dehendriyasavaha tataha. From the pancha dhatu only, the pancha mahabhuta only, the dehendriyas and pranas have come, they say. And that is true also. So they have merged these karyas called deha, indriya and prana in the karana of the pancha tanmatras or pancha mahabhuta. Therefore, they said they are 5, but then atma, jiva. And that makes it convenient for them that they are dealing with only 7 aspects. अब 30 वाले को 30 से डील करना पड़ता है, बट 30 वाला 30 से या 7 वाला 7 से, it's only their view, otherwise the difficulty is equal for both of them. You understand? Like in exams for children, there are 1-mark questions are there, 10-mark questions are there. So children attempt 10 marks question first. Then, but the effort is same. In the time you answer the 10 marks question, you will be able to answer 10 1-mark questions also. Effort is same. But the difference इसमें कितना है कि तो इसमें पॉजिटिव है, इसमें नेगेटिव. इसमें सब ठीक किया, एक बात में आपको 10 मार्क मिल जाते हैं. गलत किया तो पूरा गया. इट्स लाइक क्रिकेट. You properly hit, goes beyond boundary, sixer. If you are caught at the boundary, you are out. You can do 1 run also. Effort is both. The effort of running 6 runs is equal to effort of sending the ball beyond the boundary. That is it's called 6. तो ना उठा के मारना मुश्किल है वो. Anyway, these are all in each one's idea. Each one predominant Prakriti decide them how many gunas to, how many tattvas to accept. So we need not go into all those details. We are here only satisfied with the pakka answer given by Lord to Uddhava. Uddhava also satisfied. At any time the Prakriti, Maya, Jagat एक हद तक ही सोचना है. ज्यादा सोचोगे या फंस जाएंगे या आंसर नहीं मिलेगा तो कंफ्यूज हो जाएंगे. I am telling you today the $1 million point. $1 million कहना चाहिए कि न्यू इंडियन क्रिप्टो कुछ करेंसी कह रहे हैं. आई डोंट अंडरस्टैंड एनी वन ऑफ देम. वी शुड चेंज द लैंग्वेज. एक हद तक ही दुनिया का सोचना. उससे ज्यादा सोचो तो समझ में नहीं आएगा. वो एक फसाव है या यू गेट अट्रैक्टेड द अदर फसाव. जस्ट एंटर इनटू द स्पिरिचुअल फील्ड. By the way, now 7 is spoken. Now comes Shaditi Atrapi. Wherever they say 6 are the dhatus, they say Bhutani Pancha Shashtaha Paraha Puman. There they Panchamahabhutas, they say Prithvyapa Tejvaya Rakasha. Then Paramatma, they say 6. Then how come the remaining things same? He says Atma Tam Sambhutaihi Tayuktaha Sushtva Idam. Paramatma, with those Pancha Mahabhutas which have come from his own self, he created the entire Jagat, and into that he only entered as Jiva. That's how they explain about creation. But basically they are only 6. 5 Mahabhutas, Paramatma. Even those 5 also came from Paramatma. With those 5 which came from him, he created entire the world. He only entered into that as Jiva. There were 6 धातु है जिससे दुनिया बना. षड इति अत्रापि भूतानि पंच षष्ठा परः पुमान्. आत्मसंभूतैः तैः युक्तः इदं सृष्ट्वा समुपाविशतु. That's how they talk. हो गया. Now चत्वारि एव इति, those who say only 4 are the dhatus, tattvas. 4 only are the tattva. What they say? Tatrapi tejaha apaha annam. They don't consider the unseen Akasha and Vayu. They say only these 3. Tejaha, fire element, because you can see. Apaha, the Jala. Then Annam, the Bhumi. Then Atma, Annama. Then Atmanaha Jatani. Then the 4th one is Atma Vastu. Then Taihidam Jatam Janma Avaiminaha Khalu. So, with Paramatma, out of these 3 only, the entire creation came. That is what they say. The whole creation. They don't talk about the Akasha and Vayu. Only 3 Paramatma 4 ही. हो गया. Then Sankhyane Saptadashake. Who are the ones who say 17 dhatu? How they say? Bhuta Mata Indriyani cha. Bhuta Pancha Mahabhuta. Matra Pancha Tanmatra. Indriyani Pancha Jnanendriya. 5 5 5. 15 हो गए. Then Pancha Pancha 5 5 5 15. Then Manasa Atma. Then one is mind. Another is Paramatma. So Paramatma, Mana, Pancha Jnanendriya, Pancha Tanmatra, Pancha Mahabhuta. Thus 15 plus 1 plus 1, 17. Those talk in that language that there are 17 dhatus. Somebody say, no, 17 is 16. What do they do at the time? 16? Same 17. In that they merge Mana in the Atma. They say Atma only when it is Sankalpa, it takes the position of Mana. So Mana Atma is same for them. So that became one. The Pancha Jnanendriya, Pancha Tanmatra, Pancha Mahabhutas, total 16. That is their account too. So Sadvat Shodasa Sankhyaane Atma eva Mana Uchyate. Then who are the ones who say Tera? Bhuta Indriyani. They say Pancha Mahabhutas, Pancha Indriyas, then Manaha, Jivaha, Atma. They bring Jiva as one more Tattva. So Mana, Jiva, Atma are 3. Pancha Mahabhuta, Pancha Indriya are 10. So 10 plus 3, 13. Those who say 13, this is how they talk about it. Okay? What about the Ekadasha people? Ekadashatva Atma Asau Mahabhuta Indriyani cha. For them, Pancha Mahabhuta, Pancha Indriya, one Atma. These are the 11 Tattvas. वही इधर उधर मिलके whatever is there वो बना रहे हैं. But basically ये 11 है. They say Ashtau. And those who talk about the 9 elements, Ashtau Prakruteha cha eva Purushaha cha. So one Purusha, then Ashtada Prakriti. Total 9. Iti 9 they say. What is the Prakriti Purusha? Ashta Prakriti. So which is said in Bhagavad Gita. Bhumihi, apaha, analaha, vayu, kham. Five are the Panchamahabhutas. Then mana, buddhi, ahankara. पूरे 8 हो गए. Then the ninth one is Purusha. That is Purusha, it can be Jiva or it can be Paramatma. एंड पुरुष परात्मा भेद नहीं है कुछ कुछ जगह पे जीव को ही ईश्वर कहते हैं. ऑलरेडी वी हैव सीन पुरुषस्य ईश्वरयोः अत्र न वैलक्षण्यम अणु अपि इन द 11th श्लोक इट केम. See, I'm not explaining to you thoroughly, deeply all the logical inquiries and efforts and paths which led to these consequent respective conclusions. That becomes a very heavy theory and research, which we can do when we sit one place. But we are only studying and making ourselves familiar with the vast subject that's there in Shastras for us to be known. And from that standpoint, at what after level of ignorance we are there, added to that the stupidity of the worldliness, and then why will not we suffer in this samsara? ये जानने के लिए हम समझा रहे इतना ही. बाकी तो एक एक चीज आपको वर्कआउट करना है. The workout of the Shastra is actually is a working. It looks to be working out of this, but the work happens inside. Okay. Then Ashtav. हो गया पूरा बता दे सब भगवान ने 8, 9, 11, 17, 16, 20, 30, 4, 7, 6. Each one, whatever the number of tattva they mentioned, which make the world, all of them Bhagavan answered. Now he concludes. What he says, iti, in this way, nana prasankhyanam tattvanam rushibhihi krutam. By rishis, tattvas are this number, this number, this number, like that. In variety form, they concluded and put at different periods of history for the different disciples. But the point is, sarvam nyayam. All of that is correct. Yuktimatvat. Because in every of their proposal, there was a yukti which was acceptable, logical. Yuktimatvat. Then vidusham kim ashobhanam. A wise person, whatever he says is not otherwise because he is wise. Therefore, every opinion of this number is by one or the other vidwan only. Therefore, what he said is right, he cannot be wrong. But there is one more thing. All of them are only in the Maya. In pure Paramatma, none of them are there. When you consider that standpoint. But just keeping it aside, you only are giving value to the seen world. Then that world which is seen alone you want to analyze. Then each of Vidusha or Vidwan gave this number. All of that is Satyam because of Yukti Matvatu. Because they are Vidusha, Kima Shobhanam. How can we doubt them? How can we question them? We can't compare them also. Each one is right. That's why in this world, those who talk Bhakti Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Karma Yoga, Ashta Yoga, all are Vidush. We cannot say this one is Ashobhanam, that one is Ashobhanam. What they say is Pakka from their standpoint. What is Shobhana? Shobhana is where do I stand? And which is the path suitable to me? Therefore, which Guru I have to surrender and learn and practice. That clarity will come when we are a Bhakta of Bhagavan with the desire of liberation. मुक्ति के इच्छा से भगवान के भक्त बनने से सही गुरु के पास हम भेजे जाते हैं सही तरह के ट्रीटमेंट के लिए. Be spashta about this aspect. Okay. In this way, the answer to Uddhava's question, how many are actually tattvas, because so many people are saying so many. So many Bhagavan said answered and all of them are right. At the empirical, absolute level, only Paramatma, Ekameva Dvayam Brahma, Niyana Nasti Kinchana. That's a different school of philosophy. When you just come down from that, the world is there, the world is made like that. In this world, variety of lokas are there, variety of sukha dukha are there in them, and each jiva, according to his papa punya, he goes there, and this is called papa, that is called punya, and that is why this is called papa, this way this is called as punya. So, ये सारा इस level में लागू होता है. In the truth, all of them are not required. Like when you wake up, you need not follow any of the traffic rules or the rules of the cinema, theater, which you went or the function in the dream. But when you are in the dream, if you go to a theater, there are rules to follow. Temple, rules to follow. On the traffic, the rules to follow. डोंट यू सी? जब तक सपने में है, सपने के सारे रूल्स नहीं करो फॉलो, इवन इन ड्रीम यू डोंट फॉलो ट्रैफिक रूल, वहां भी फाइन लगता है, वहां भी एक्सीडेंट होता है. But when you wake up, none of them. So when you awaken to the truth, all of them are not there. If not, all of them are valid. See that now from this standpoint, the greatness of our Rishis Munis. At one side, they have given us absolute truth in a totally different topic. Second side, they propounded all the rules, regulations to live a healthy life in the empirical world. The third time side, from this world of Vyavahara Samsara, how to enter into the spirituality, that also they paved that bridge through the Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga. देखो, now imagine how much great they must be that all these they conceived and they have put in front of us. अभी कभी ना इन ऋषि मुनियों की महिमा को देखकर बस उनके चरण को पकड़ना है, बस सरेंडर हो जाओ, ऐसा लगता है. All those, even including our own Vivekanandas, Puja Gurudevs, what a tremendous experience and wisdom, and what a way they are uplifting the entire mass of consciousness of the masses of the people, from the Jada toward the Chaitanya. What a conception, idea, what a power, what a planning, what an execution. The Mahatmas like Vivekananda, Gurudev, those are seen. If their ability, capacity itself is so powerful and effective, and those great rishis were functioning through them, how great. And different devatas who are functioning through rishis. And Adi Deva who is functioning through those devatas. How much great they must be. You understand it? बढ़िया है. कभी कभी सोचो तो. Now Uddhava Vacha, having heard all this, Uddhava comes up with a very pertinent question. Mhm, mhm, mhm. So Uddhavacha, Prakriti Purushascha Ubhau Yadyapi Atma Vilakshanav Anyonnya Apashriyat Krishna Drishyate Nabhidatayoho Prakrutau Lakshite hi Atma Prakrutischa Tata Atmani एवं में पुंडरीकाक्ष महांतम संशयम हृदि छेत्तुमरसि सर्वज्ञ वचोभिः नय नैपुणैः तत्त हि ज्ञानं हि जीवानां तत्तो ज्ञानमि जीवानां प्रमोषः ते अत्र शक्तितः तमेव हि आत्मायाः गतिं वेत्थ न च अपरः. So these three are question is asked and to seek the answer from the Lord, Uddhavaji is praising Bhagavan's greatness and glory and surrendering to him, requesting him to give the answer. What is the question? Prakriti Purusha cha ubhau yadapi Atma Vilakshana. Shuddha Atma's place is different, pristine, untouched. Below him are the Prakriti and me, the Jiva Purusha. These two Anyonya Apashrayau Drishyate. They are mutually dependent to each other. Therefore, na tada na bhida tayoho. Therefore, it is difficult to withdraw one from the other. So, this question is how to do the Prakriti Purusha Viveka, after which the Purusha or the Jiva frees from Prakriti and thus it gets liberated from the bondage. Then Prakriti Purusha Vivek karna asambhav hai. Why is it so? Here Purusha means Jiva. Because Jiva cannot be without the Prakriti. Prakriti cannot be without the Jiva. इतने अन्यों ने एक दूसरे के पकड़े रखे हैं. सो न तदा भिदा तयो अन्योन्य अपाश्रयात कृष्ण दृश्यते न भिदा तयो भिदा न दृश्यते. देन प्रकृतो लक्ष्यते ही आत्मा प्रकृतिश्च तथा आत्मनि. Is it not? It is electricity and the electrical equipment. You can't separate both of them. Na? You can't find the presence of electricity by any means other than connecting some equipment. कोई भी पकड़ कर नहीं बोलता ना वो बिजली है कि नहीं वहां. पकड़ने से भी दूसरे को पता चलेगा ये चला गया, थैंक यू इलेक्ट्रिसिटी. बट अदरवाइज so too all bulbs are standing there. But what is the use of them when the Bijli doesn't go through them? Is it not? Mutual ashriya. Somebody discovered electricity. Therefore, the bulbs are discovered by other fellow. Bulbs are there for getting blown. Then only electricity expresses. नहीं तो क्या करोगे? बल्ब कहो, फैन कहो. वो नहीं है तो ओनली बिजली को कौन क्या करेगा? very clear he says कि प्रकृतौ लक्ष्यते आत्मा प्रकृतिश्च तथा आत्मनि. Then both of them are so mutually dependent. It appears that they cannot be separated. They cannot be independent to each other. Then that means what? In other words, you and I as a jiva are always caught up in prakriti. We can never detach ourselves from it to get liberation. Then Bhagavan gives the entire answer of how the creation came, etc., in a most beautiful manner. We will see that. But before seeking the answer, भगवान को बहुत भगवान और उद्धव जी does such a wonderful sweet praise, and all that praise is not atishaya ukti, not extra vaganza, not it is a non-existing prayer. It's a truth only. What he says, first of all, evam, in this way, e pundarikaksha, a lotus-eyed Lord, may of mine mahantam samshayam hrudi, have a deep doubt in my heart that these two are so mixed up with each other, they can't be separated. Chetumarhasi, this samshaya chedanam only you can do. Sarvagnya, because you are knower of everything. And how to do? Vachobihi naya naipunaihi. With that type of your speech, which has got all its nipunata, to lift me from my ignorance level to your level of wisdom. Please do that. And the next sloka is very interesting. He says there, Tattaha jnanam hi jivanam. From you only all the jnana comes to all jivas. So this portion Uddhava is saying after studying 15th chapter of Gita, 50th sloka. Because there Krishna says, Sarvasya chaham hrudi sannivishtaha mattaha smritihi jnanam apohanam. Smriti is remembrance. Jnana is knowledge. Apohanam is forgetfulness. So that Uddhava is using. Or everybody, such a highly evolved people, they know. So first point is what? Tattahi jnanam jivanam. We the jivas are blessed by knowledge by your grace only. Second one is what? Pramoshahate. Pramosha means even ignorance also is because of you. Is a pramosha is not English promotion. Pramoshaha means forgetfulness or ignorance also is by you. How? By Shaktitaha. It is your Maya Shakti because of which we become ignorant. It is your grace by which we get the knowledge. Then, Tvameva. Third point is what? You alone, Atma Mayayaha Gatim Vetha. You alone know your own Maya's ways and means of how it creates the world, how it binds the Jiva, and how it liberates the Jiva. हमको तो कुछ पता ही नहीं है, आप ही जानते हैं. And nacha aparaha, nobody else knows it. These all are in the 10th chapter, Arjuna's praise to Krishna. Param Brahma Parandhama, Pavitram Paramam Bhavan, Purusham Shashvatam Divyam, Adidevam Ajam Austo Amrisha Sarve, Devarshi Narada Sasto Devalovya Swayam Seva. All these praises which Arjuna does in Gita in different chapters put together, here Uddhavji is saying, you are the only one who knows the effect of the Maya in the form of creation and Maya's influence in binding us and its influence in liberating us. And you only is the one who are the giver of the Jnanam by removing Maya. You are the only one through again Maya Shakti. You put us into the bondage of ignorance. Therefore, now we are in the bondage of ignorance because of your own Maya. Therefore, by giving the Maya, remove the by giving the Jnanam, remove the Maya. Please tell us, give the answer. This is a question. So, Prakriti, Purusha are so admixed. How to separate them? Can they be separated? Looks to be impossible. They mutually existing so much together, remove one, the other has no value. Like, if electricity is not there, all equipments are meaningless. Equipments are not there, electricity has no purpose. है कि नहीं है? In the same way, जीव नहीं है तो जगत का मतलब नहीं है, जगत नहीं है तो जीव का मतलब नहीं है. How can is Jiva Jagat be understood and separated? Which are so? This everybody's common question. It is. It's a very deep question. How can I be without the world? And how can the world be there without some I somewhere, some Jiva? The entire jungle. You may not go, I may not go there, but within that jungle, whatever is there for the Jivas that are there. It can be very small micro organ, it can be a big animal there, whatever. उनके लिए वो वाला वो वहाँ का जगत है और वो जगत उनके लिए है वो जगत के लिए है वो लोग नहीं है तो वो भी जंगल किसके लिए है फिर जीव है लेकिन ऐसा जंगल का एटमॉस्फेयर नहीं है वो भी जी नहीं सकते हैं श्री भगवान वाच ही सेज प्रकृति पुरुषः इच्छा इति विकल्पः पुरुषार्षभ फर्स्ट एंड फॉरमोस्ट इज मेकिंग ए स्टेटमेंट ऑफ फैक्ट प्रकृति एंड पुरुष आर टोटली सेपरेट फ्रॉम ईच अदर in your own ignorance they are mixed up and you strengthen the ignorance through your vasanas desires but you can reverse it back and make both of them totally separated. This is the main meaning of the first line's meaning. Purusha Prakriti Prakriti Purushati Vikalpaha. First of all, keep that, which I'll prove later on, and which you have to prove in your own understanding, meditation, and experience later on. फिर प्रकृति पुरुष इति विकल्पः पहले बात. Now second one, एष वैकारिकः सर्गः गुण व्यतिकरात्मकः. Then the entire Srishti is having the imbalance in the guna as the cause for its creation. Then mama anga maya gunamayi anekada vikalpa buddhi gunairvidatte vaikarika trividaha adhyatmam ekam ata adidaivam adibhutam anyato. This is these five slokas for are a beautiful thesis. How from Paramatma's Mula Prakriti Maya, the Mahat Tattva, and from that the three Ahankara, and that Ahankara expressed into three forms, Sattva, Rajas, Tamas, and from that only, whatever the variety of the world you see, that is created. So tomorrow what do we do? As Bhagavan explains, from this, how the creation came, we will explain. Then from this creation which is seen by us, how to trace back in our intellectual understanding to the Lord, we will explain. These are all theory. In this theory, the first theory practically happened where we are seeing the world multiplicity came out of the Prakriti and the Mahat Tattva. The other practicality of merging all these to discover the Lord beyond, it is our sadhana. That will take thousands of lives, whatever it is. Theory will be कल समझाएंगे. क्लियर? यहाँ हम रोकेंगे आज. सर्वम कृष्णार्पणमस्तु. ओम पूर्णमद पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते. ओम शांति शांति शांति. हरि ओम. श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः. कृष्णचंद्र भगवान की जय. सद्गुनाथ महाराज की जय. ఈ రోజు టుడే ఇన్ आवर वाल्मीकि रामायण हम पूरा रामायण को पढ़ने वाले हैं कथा के सारे. दोनों टाइम लगेगा, दैट्स व्हाई आई एम कंक्लूडिंग हियर. एनीवे टाइम आल्सो इज अप. हरि ओम. ओम